Did you lag? Hey Kamikaze, actually what happened was that for whatever reason OBS disconnected, so pretty much the stream crashed. But I already reconnected, so I should be going. In case nobody got it. So I'm gonna color this one later. For now, I'm gonna just sign it. Once again, like I said, I'm gonna sign it by putting a DK for the skin, my site, my Tumblr actually, so people can find my stuff later on. The general idea is that my Tumblr has links to pretty much everywhere else I post my drawings, all my other galleries and whatnot. Now I'm done with Cody. He's a very good boy there. And now I'm gonna go and draw the other patron who's gonna get a sketch. That is Terry. He's another. And that'll screw me up because I don't know how to draw others. In any case, you guys, are you still there? Like I said, the stream kind of crashed. So you guys will have to manually refresh the page to get back to the stream. Which also sucks, because even though I'm saying it, for those who the stream has crashed, you guys are not listening to this. So all I can do is hope you guys can see me. Are you able to see the screen? It's not loading up for me for some reason. Now it loaded up. And also my chat keeps acting up, so I don't see what you guys are saying. And this is annoying. Acting up, so I don't see. Anyway, let's get back to it. Young Jack Raiden, you asked if I have a Switch. If by Switch you mean the video game, no I don't. I don't have a Switch, unfortunately. Okay, so I went around, googled some, found myself some others. No, Bluetooth's up here, so it helps. I just found this line, by the way. That'd be very accurate. That is what I have for now. Let's see what's up. You guys are saying Leo. You said Harvey Bernard Milk was an American politician and the first openly gay elected official in the history of California that was assassinated November 27, 1978. That's been a while. But it's also quite a shame. Kamikaze Argue said, "Whoa, no. Pfizer apparently are happy that there is another about. And I'm glad, because I'm gonna go and draw one now." So, this time I'm gonna try and sketch it differently. Normally what I do when I sketch is, like I said, those who were here from the beginning, I want to do something random. I start with the head and go working my way down to the rest of the character's body. This character, though, I was thinking of sketching it like this. This crazy sketching brush I have. Problem here is that this character, the references was pretty much just a drawing. It wasn't a reference sheet with like information about the character and all that kind of stuff. So all I have to go on is some images. So I don't know what kind of pose to do, what kind of expression to draw, what kind of details to put in or leave out. I'm just gonna do some crazy, maybe generic posing shot, I think. Hmm. I really don't know. I think that even this default shot may not be. Well, it would be nice, it would be interesting. I mean, it would be nice for the patron who's got this drawing, this sketch, but I don't think it's interesting. I kind of want to do something that's interesting and worthwhile. So maybe what I'll do I don't know, do you guys have any ideas how I can draw? What I can do with an other character? Like poses, actions, expressions, stuff that could make this more interesting and more visually appealing. I might even feel like I'm cheating, asking you guys for help. But this is what's fun about drawing with friends, is that we can cooperate and collaborate almost in real time. And we can create content together. Maybe what I'll do is have this character maybe sitting down. Maybe one leg propped up. Some sort of bench or whatever. Have this character kind of really leaning back. One arm propped up. The other arm leaning on the leg that's propped up. Though for that, the size of the body and the legs kind of have to match. Which is a whole anatomy nightmare just waiting for it to happen. Maybe I pose something, maybe I pose somewhat like this. Could do. What do you guys think? Vito, you said you have no idea, you've only drawn another one time. And Young Jackie said you've only seen others' drawings of others. Also, Tillion says, "Hey Kim, I'm leaving." Also, okay, Tillion, thank you so much for joining the stream and spending some time with us. It was really cool to see you again after so long. For you guys who don't know, Tillion's an artist, another furry artist. He's on, I think he's on Furry Affinity with the same username. He does amazing art. Most of it is not safe for work, so keep that in mind. And you guys really should visit his gallery if you guys have the chance. Young Jack Raiden, he says, only things that come to mind for me is to make them slightly short and make the whiskers white. The others in general, you say? Because indeed, that's something I feel like really comes to mind when people think of others. And now I think I have perhaps a better idea for a sketch. It's gonna be sort of him lying down in bed or something. This one will be a top view though. It's gonna be him laying on the bed, enjoying the cold winter, just as everyone else. So maybe checking his phone. This good boy is laying down, maybe curling a little in bed because stretching is fun. Others are somewhat long as well, so get to that. Also, I suffered another annoying chat disconnection, so Samu, I probably didn't see what you said because I only got you correcting yourself and saying sharp. Samuel says, one thing about others that I know, it's to make thin but sharp claws and to make a very thick tail. Yeah. Yes, I can do both. So because of the weight canvases with these and the other drawing, I'm using the same canvas for both drawings. I'm gonna draw this one kind of tilted to the side like this. Also, Burning Languages says, "Oh, a cute author." Welcome Bernie to the stream. Young Jack says, thick legs and thick booty for life. Sure thing, dude. You surely do know what's up. So hopefully you guys can kind of see this has sort of a perspective which I'll have to fix with this bit here. I don't know how I'll fix this, but seeing as this is all just a sketch, it might be better to just okay, my program is working. Okay, it's back. Seeing as this is just a sketch, I think it's better just go and draw the whole thing again, rather than trying to fix it using the crazy tools it has. Now this is going to be the perspective, sort of. It's going to be here, and it's going to be over there. Hide that one sketch because despite everything, I'm not going to be using that pose after all. I'm going to hide the dot part over there. I think that a stretchy otter, I don't know. How do you say otter? Or otter, the animal? I feel like I do pronounce the T's more. But anyway, I feel like a stretchy animal. Like him, be lying down, so I'm here holding a phone. Somehow I have to figure out how that arm goes, and he would have another arm on top of his belly. See, right now. Also, hey Burning Languages, thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I appreciate it very much. And yes, just as you said, you're gonna have a very long boy here. Longest of long boys. Also, to those of you who had subscribed to me, if you are a $4, $5 subscriber, or a Twitch Prime subscriber, I don't know if there's any difference, you guys get a exclusive emote you can use. It's on Twitch. It's the cheer emote, and it's really fun because I spent some time doing it and I had some fun. Leo says, others are stretchy, that's not a stereotype. Burning Languages says, woof, that alarm. It's also very cool. I spent quite some time working on that, and I love it. Young Jack says, what would I tip for sketching? I didn't understand your question really. What do you mean, Jack? Young Jack. Also, here on the chat, I just showed you how my shear emote looks like. I think it looks pretty hard to see, but I think it looks very fun. Samu says a cheer emoji with a very handsome boy. Thank you. And that's exactly what it is. Very good boy. Very grateful boy. Cheering. No, thank you, Bunny Languages. A young Jack says, sorry, you meant advice. My advice for sketching. You guys always ask me the hard questions. I think my biggest advice for sketching, perhaps, is to let me also try to sketch as I think on what my tip for sketching is. So I think the biggest tip is to just get the drawing going. You don't want to think too much about it, but you mostly want to, well, first off, you want to do you probably will want to do a warm-up sketch, so don't think too much about it. Just start drawing whatever and get the drawing going. Afterwards, when you are done warming up and you feel more like your limbs are kind of loosened and whatnot, then I really think your next step is defining the body, like the anatomy of the character and where each body part goes. Just very loosely define them, like with very basic shapes, like a sphere for the head, sort of a beam for the body, because it also has an actual curve, another circles for the joints, very just small lines, or even cylinders for the arms. And once you get all that going, you just try to go and fill in the gaps with all your anatomy knowledge. That's pretty much my basic tip for sketching. Bunny Languages, you said that your workflow is get materials, try to draw, try not to cry a lot, then rinse and repeat. That also works. But especially the whole crying part, it happens a lot. But the very important part is to try and to rinse and repeat. So basically, the second and fifth step of your workflow. Somebody said that your advice for sketching is to always make a bunch of sketches. One of them is bound to be what I want. What can you say? You're an artist, or so you claim want to be. In general, I really and I also don't know anymore how to do that sketch again. Do perspective. Maybe I'll begin with it here. Draw the character head here, the body really big because I want this perspective to stretch all the way down there. What was I saying? In general, the sketch, you probably only go to the sketch phase of the drawing after you have something in mind to draw. If you don't have anything in mind to draw, then just begin drawing. And something's bound to come. If you're not sure, I also suggest you try, instead of sketching the whole body like I'm doing here, to try and do one part of the body, draw it, and then kind of fill in the rest. Like with the other drawing, I first drew the head and the rest I was drawing afterwards, so the drawing was very sketchy for most part, and I didn't plan the legs ahead of time. But if you do already have something in mind, you probably will want to do some nice stuff. So my biggest tip is for you to consider the perspective, because in the end, if you don't have a perspective set up, it's really gonna screw you up. So get to that. So this is kind of gonna be my perspective. In fact, I'm gonna go and do a whole perspective ruler for this. I'm just gonna try and eyeball it. This is not a bad practice, actually, to define a perspective by eyeballing it. So long as you have some principles of perspectives down, then you will know what you're doing or why you're doing it like this. If you don't know a whole lot about perspective, aren't very confident with the principles of perspectives, then you probably wanna give that a look, or read, or watch before you go attempting it. Basically, this is the perspective for the bed this character is gonna be in. With that in hand, I can start drawing things, but this is really exhausting as well. Well, some of you said you can't draw, you can only write. But you guess that's art true? And yes, the writing is art, I feel. Or rather, it can be, since it's a very creative sort of endeavor. Hence why I've been trying not to call drawings art so much. I've been trying to call them illustrations, because in the wide scope of what is art, drawings are illustrations, pretty much. Burning language, as I said, not even a question. Art has so many branches, it practically consumes all aspects of life. And through that, art is it's very wide. There's a lot of stuff that is art. Like Young Jack suggests, drawing, writing, music, sculpting, dancing, even cooking actually can be some sort of art. Doing comedy also is a form of art. Doing entertainment is a sort of art. All sort of stuff that you can kind of throw in a little bit of your own personality into can become art in its own sense. So yeah, writing is art. It's not as visual as, say, an illustration, but it still has a lot of merit. And I don't know, I guess it's really good career-wise to focus on one kind of art if you're planning to turn it into a career. But if you're not, and you're doing it more so of a hobby or just something you're enjoying or is passionate about, then you should really try to get into all sorts of arts. The more the better. So try to take some sculpting classes someday, and learn to play an instrument, then someday learn how to dance, someday also go and learn how to cook, say something, some food that isn't a part of your culture. Try to write a poem, draw something, try to find some friends, some like very willing and very perhaps drunk friends, and try to make a comedy improv session with them. That's also sort of art. And in general, have fun with it. Someone said thanks, those comments are very uplifting, and they should very well be. The whole, but I really want these strings to be very positive and very, in general, leave you guys feeling better about life and everything. Leo said you had to be overly depressed back when you were able to draw well, given that you'd rather be happy and write than be depressed and draw. And yeah, there are some sort of art forms that doesn't fit you. So if you're doing that, like I said, as a hobby, you probably are going to have a good time, nonetheless, and enjoy yourself. But if you're doing it career-wise, you should really only do what you really feel like doing. The thing you have you're the most comfortable with and have the more ease. The thing that gives you the most joy in general. I really do enjoy writing, but it really stresses me because I like seeing the things I'm creating, and with novels and short stories and writing in general, I can't really see the stuff I'm thinking, and to show that to people is also more complicated because people have to go and read and they will imagine it out and they won't imagine the exact same thing as you are imagining. So it's somewhat stressful for me, the whole writing stuff. That's why I think I enjoy drawing more. Because I like seeing the stuff I'm thinking and showing people exactly the same stuff I'm thinking about. However, someone who's blind, for example, would have a better time with writing than with an illustration, if I went to do one. But anyway, Young Jack says it triggers the reader's imagination or sense of imagery. And Fonzuri says unless you're bad at art. Yeah. Then again, as long as you're having fun, you don't need to be good. Unless you turn it into a career, then you do have to be good. Or you have to trick other people into thinking you're good, which is not impossible, as you might find. But anyway, here, like I said, I kind of said I defined a perspective. Now I'm gonna throw in some elements like the character holding the cell phone, then reading the whatever he is on the cell phone. Without making this long void too long, also because perspectives can have that crazy effect on your mind. Yeah. Not only in the creative sense of creating art, like writing, illustrations, music, whatever, but art is also a very great outlet for your mentality. If you have troubles or isn't able to express yourself very well or very often, art normally helps up with those. Being able to write down music or play it, write a novel, cook something, illustrate, whatever. All those art forms, they are very good at allowing you to express yourself. And they are generally good outlets for bad feelings you might be having and don't know what to do with those. So, like I said, your art doesn't need to be good. Because sometimes the point isn't to be good, but rather the point is to make you feel better. There's that. Also, I don't know how to draw this character. Holding up a cell phone. Doing that. Because, however, I want to draw him holding it somewhat involves me need to really work out the perspectives. Okay, so I went ahead, I gave up on doing on eyeballing it. I decided to go ahead and actually use a perspective ruler to go and draw a bounding box. A bounding box is pretty much, like the name implies, a box which you use to bound your character. Or, in short, to decide where stuff will go. So by making bounding boxes, you can make sure that the elements you're drawing are exactly at the place you want it to be. For example, here I also did draw the center, two centers of the bounding box. You can see that some of his body is actually outside of the bounding box. That's okay. So I'm gonna make it a little bigger on the top to fit the head. Or not, maybe not. I don't think we need it. Especially because he's not super straight in back, he's just lounging stretching and sprawling on the pad, so it doesn't have to be straight into the perspective. It would help if it were, but that might get things to be more complicated than they have to be, so let's not focus too much on that. So now the last things I need to worry about and try to figure out is these arms, how they are gonna go. This one, like I said, it's gonna come with the hand's gonna be resting on top of his belly. That's very chill. No biggie here. This all looks very natural. So I don't know if I've said this before or not, but when you play with perspectives, you have to be really careful. Perspectives, they are there to help you. Are these friends? However, the biggest issue with perspectives is that they are these very helpful friends, but they don't speak your language. So you're the one who has to learn how to speak with the perspectives, to understand what they are saying, to understand how they are behaving, and understand how they work. Because when you do, they are super helpful. They're basically life-saving helpful. So when you don't, trying to cooperate with them might never actually work out. And just make things harder. Fortunately, perspectives are very simple to learn. They aren't confusing or elusive. They're very set, hard rules that anyone can learn, really. So no matter what kind of illustrator you are, it's always worthwhile to go and learn about perspectives. Young Jack, you said you don't really put perspective to mind when you draw much. Like I said, like I was saying, they're not really necessary. You don't have to put them into every single drawing you do. But they exist to help. If you learn how to use perspectives, all you're gonna be doing is helping yourself make sure your drawing feels more organic and more real, and like things actually belong where they should belong. However, you don't need to actually go and learn perspectives. You can work just fine without it. It just might be a little harder. But no worries. I mean, I managed to draw perspectives until pretty much 2 years ago, when I had the most basic understanding of perspectives, but never really got around to using them to draw. Especially because I had the misconception that perspectives were only going to be useful for drawing backgrounds. But not only are they useful for backgrounds, but when you draw characters, it can really help as well with these bounding boxes I just talked about. Also, Young Jack Raiden says, the way I sketch though seems easy to you at first, but feels a lot different from what you usually see. And I know, the way I sketch feels okay to me. Also, hey, he's not taking a selfie. Initially I thought about him just waking up, kind of lounging in bed and looking at his cell phone, like messages, notifications, and just him chilling in bed, looking at his cell phone. All those nice stuff. I'm doing some really crazy shenanigans with perspectives here. Somebody said an art style is only gonna appear when the sketch is gaining form, so you could say that sketching is the most basic form of art. So that's why the start of the sketch looks easy. I guess that you do have a point there. I mean, at the beginning of the sketch, I'm using more defined and universal techniques rather than stuff that's more particular to my own style. So just like I said, it's still gaining form, so that's why it feels easy, but eventually it gets enough form that I'm gonna start drawing things my own way when I'm not when I'm not grounded by more general sketching techniques. So that's why the beginning looks easier, because I'm mostly defining where what goes, and by the end it's more it's more of me doing things my way, refining what I have already done, all that, so it's gonna look really crazy. Also, defining forms and shapes and places for things, that's a more general knowledge, and when it comes to anatomy and such, it's more particular, because not everyone, first of all, not everyone uses the same anatomy knowledge and style for doing anatomy. So I, for example, tend to a more realistic style, whereas some might go for a very cartoonish style. So I'm gonna do stuff my way here, whereas others have a completely different idea on how to go about this. Anyway, Young Jackie said, "Oh yeah, you were doing all this on one single layer." And yes, I am. In sketching, normally only use one layer. I don't. For the longest time, I have had not very good computers, and they were good. They weren't the best computers for this kind of work, like drawing and such. So I learned when working digitally to work on a budget, really. So I try to make things that are mostly economic when it comes to digital resources. In other words, I try to use as little processing power in my computer as I can. So I try to use very few layers. I used to use a very small canvas. Eventually I realized I kind of needed to use a bigger canvas, so I got to that. But this stuff I learned, like drawing in one layer and such, I still do that today. So perhaps if you are, depending on how you work, perhaps that's not the best way to go about it. You could save many copies of the sketch and do small changes in one or another, keep fiddling with it. But if you do have the processing power on your computer to go and do that, then knock yourself out. But if you don't, you probably will want to keep to just 1 or 2 layers for sketching. One for this background sketch and one for the characters. And foreground object sketches. And yeah, it's just got a little bit cold here. Kamikaze, you said you're going to go now. It was a nice stream. Bye bye, Kame. Thank you very much for hanging out with everyone here today. Take care. And to everyone else who are still here, thank you so much for sticking around and joining my stream in any case. It's really nice to have you guys here. And I hope you guys are having a good time. Also, hey Caspen, welcome to the stream. Top of the morning to you. Young Jack said, "You're glad to be here, gave you a chance to learn." I am super glad you are finding my stream, my ramblings to be instructive in any way. Also, sure thing, someone. Take your time. You don't need to rush. I'm gonna make his head a little bigger, so it fits the general size of the body's having his face here. Try to follow the perspective image as well with it, because as you guys might have noticed, I can't speak English for shit. Oh, sorry. Excuse me as I mispronounce countless words. We could have one of those little picture-in-picture stuffs in the corner where there's a little guy doing the sign language interpretation, live translation of what I'm saying and doing. Maybe that could be a thing. You guys wouldn't have to force yourselves into trying to understand this stuff I'm saying. Learning languages is relaxing as fuck, helping focus. Very few things can do that for you. Hey, I'm glad I'm somehow able to do that to you. You're welcome to come to my streams whenever they're happening. Like I said, I plan to stream more or less on the same time frame for the next few days in a kind of set schedule. Young Jack said, well, I look at a lot of different streams and YouTube videos for help. Most of the time I don't do enough practice to make up for the new things you learn. That is possibly the worst thing you can be doing. I mean, if you do want to learn, then sure, you need to practice every single day, or at least as much as you can in the time you have. But in general, if you do learn or watch someone teach one specific technique, it's very important that you try your best to learn and sort of master that technique before trying to learn another. Some techniques or some tools like brushes and such, they do enhance one another when you're learning it together, like learning painting and using different brushes. When you do that at the same time, it can really be helpful. But if you are not, there is a chance, I'm not going to say it's a big nor small chance, varies from person to person, but there is a chance that trying to learn two different things at the same time, even though they are art related, or rather illustration related, can jumble up technology in your mind and only make you confused. Because it is possible that, say, an instructor talks about painting and they're going on about how you need a specific brush, settings, canvas, and whatever to paint something, whereas other teacher and instructor can be talking about sketching, and they are saying that any brush will do, and you can sketch in any sorts of conditions, and there are actually countless conditions at which you can be sketching, and those knowledge will kind of conflict in your mind. So yeah, maybe you should try to practice and get down on paper one or two of the things you are learning before jumping into the next. And also start from the basics. Anatomy and perspectives are easily the most overlooked subjects of them all. Especially young artists, they don't like to learn. They really don't like to learn. And you should always try to learn as much as you can. Learning languages, as I said, make Young Jack has said, make really quick rapid sketches, shapes, words, whatever, to make a collection of things you've learned, and reviews you have to watch. That way you can preserve it and come back to do it later. I have to do this for everything because most of the time I can't immediately try new things. I can't practice everything I do every day, it's simply not possible. I'm sure taking no worries about your keyboard issues. But yeah, like I said, try and take it slow, one thing at a time. Try to learn the basics first, and then you go learn into different techniques. But then again, a lot of teachers and courses they go about how each student learns stuff in their own way, and they give students the freedom to go and tackle subjects as they want, the order, the way they want, because some students already come knowing a little bit about anatomy, perspectives, and the such, whereas other students might not be dabbling in those and feel like they can skip it and go straight for the point they feel will be the most interesting or the best for them to learn. I really don't recommend doing that either. Even if you have already some familiarity with some topic, I do recommend you take a really long look at how this one person is talking about or teaching this topic, even though you are already familiar with it, because there are new stuff you can learn, especially when it comes to art, because of how subjective it is. Everyone has their own interpretations and ways to do stuff. Also, welcome back, Simon. Oh yeah, I just remember this small little tiny detail about others is that they have webbed fingers for some reason. So I have to go back and fix that. Webdesign, they have this sort of membrane connecting one finger to another. So there's that. So I'll have to do the same to this hand here. And I guess that has to do with swimming. I guess that helps them swim better, faster or whatever. Because even though I keep saying that anatomy is important, I'm also not a big fan of learning. Of actually taking the time to take classes and such to learn things, so I say a lot, but most of the time I probably don't know what I'm saying, so feel free to dismiss anything I say if you feel like it's not right or does not apply to you. Learning languages is said that others have web-like spiders, or something. Somebody said that one of the things that you do to write good stories is to make notes of what you do in your day. Take what's interesting or unusual and add it in different ways to your stories, and that really works. So every day I get in the very least something. But yeah, that really works out. That's a very nice thing to do, in fact. One thing I did way back in 2009 was that I began this sort of weekly drawing challenge. Where it was that for the duration of 2009, I was gonna go and do a drawing per week. By the end of the year, I had like 50 something drawings, 53, 52. But anyway, I had one drawing for each day, each week of the year. And I did that, so I did do that more so as a way to practice drawing every day and such, get better. But now, whenever I look back at those drawings, I realized that they weren't just practices, they were more so kind of journals of what I was doing back then, because I used to take events and stuff that happened in my life during that time and illustrated them. So I have this somewhat detailed journal of what was happening, what was going on with me during 2009. And it's really fun, because now I can go back and see that each week there was something different going on. I learned something, I talked to someone, or in general, it was very fun, I find. So same with you, Simon. Writing a little bit every day about, I don't know, the stuff that goes on with your life, but also adding a mix to it or something. It's not only a great way to practice story writing, you also are creating a journal of how your life was right now. And in the future, you can look back and see where your life was. And I feel like that's really fun. It can be really fun, actually. Someone you said you did something similar. You always would make a goal to write something that my friends in the classroom would read, and sometimes I would continue. I always did those to test different ways to write. But yeah, those are like excellent writing practices. But they also are great ways to document what was up with your life. It might not be big now, but in a few years you probably will read back to those and realize how different things were. Maybe even have some time with it. Also, welcome to the stream, Nathan. Oh boy. Like I did say before, my Twitch chat keeps disconnecting, but this time it just connected in the weirdest of ways. I decided to see if I could find a way to work around this quickly here. So what I did was open two windows. There's one pop-out window with the chat, and there's one window with the live stream and the chat. So the pop-out window, it didn't get one of your guys' messages. Instead of giving me that message, it said, "Welcome to the chat room," which is the message I get every time I get disconnected. But the other window now, it's not updating the messages anymore, so I guess that's more of a safekeeping, one-time only sort of deal I got with this thing here. I don't know, I'm really starting to get both pissed off and worried about this whole chat situation with the stream. Anyway, Young Jack said, "So not draw almost every day impacts me more than doing drawings I never finish." Maybe. I feel like even if you don't finish a drawing, at least you're putting in some sort of practice. You're trying, you're actually putting your pencil or pen or whatever into the paper and scribbling and sketching. You might not finish the drawing, but you are at least sketching and practicing techniques. However, if you do spend a whole day not drawing, that's, well, you didn't do an unfinished drawing, but you also didn't practice anything. A better way, perhaps, to think about this is how many hours you spent working on something. Even if you don't finish something, you did spend, or at least invest some hours into doing that. And that's what I think you should aim for. Investing the most amount of hours into that. If that's what you want to do, that is. The more hours you invest into learning the craft, or practicing it even if you don't finish anything, the faster you're gonna improve at it, and the better you're gonna be in, say, a year or two. Because even though, I mean, even though drawing can feel hard sometimes, I'm gonna say it is possible to improve like radically in just a year, but you have to have a crazy level of dedication to go and do that. Not only dedication, but support as well. I don't know if most of you have enough free time that you can go and do your stuff and practice what you want and not care so much about family or holding up a job or something. If you do have the free time and the support to go and practice almost exclusively your craft, you're gonna improve crazy quick at it. But if not, and that's the general case for the majority of artists out there, it might take some years until you get better. But don't let that not demotivate you. It's actually pretty good if you think that despite everything else that's going on in your life, if you keep practicing, in a couple of years you can get very better. And that's considering that in these 2 years we were also attending school, doing college, working, taking care of people, doing whatever. That's pretty impressive as well. Someone you said that people in your classroom don't like to read, only do your best. Only your best friend would help you with ideas. That's a thing too. I find that with writers it's harder to find people willing to give ideas and help. But there are people who are willing to help you with your craft. And when you find those people, do your best to keep them around, because they're not gonna come easily nor frequently, so do keep those people around. Fozer, you said that at first thought that hand was going somewhere else. I mean, I'm kind of doing these drawings with the thought that there might be a not safe for work version later on, if the patrons would like enjoy the drawing and whatever. I'm also trying to keep it very tasteful, very safe, in other words. Samuel Leo, you said there are some auto idea generator pages online that give random characters, plays, and even suggestions. There are those also. I feel like I missed something you guys might have said, which would give that some sort of context. But there is such things online, and those also help in writing. I mean, they are mostly helpful for people who don't have a lot of friends and people in their lives who are willing to suggest and help you with your ideas. Because if you have a group of friends who are very passionate or very talkative, they will give you a lot of ideas eventually. If your friends aren't really into sharing their thoughts and ideas and whatnot, then an online idea generator would serve you just the same, perhaps even better. Someone said, now that you think about it, a guy tried to make you stop because he didn't like romance, and that's what you like to write. Um, that's very mean of this person. I also understand what they're going on about. People sometimes they wanna see what the things they wanna see. It's not their fault. Some people really don't have an aggressive way to go at it. In fact, a lot of people, even people who are have a very liberal view on artists and creation, and artists themselves, were very vexed with, I don't remember her name, but the women who wrote 50 Shades of Grey series. A lot of people who were good writers, people who are very liberal and very defensive of those people, they were very vexed with her, wanted basically to make her stop writing. So yeah, I guess that if you think about it, it's not hard to understand those people. But still, don't let anyone make you stop if that's what you like doing. Because if you like doing that, and that makes you happy, that's what you have passion about, and that is probably what's gonna lead you somewhere. You don't want to lose that, so don't let anyone stop you from doing that kind of stuff, the stuff you like to do. Nathan, you sent a link. It's a comic. And I do suggest you guys look into that link Nathan sent. That comic is very true to life. That you only get better by drawing a lot. And even if by drawing a lot, like really a lot, you don't improve, then keep drawing a lot, because eventually you will improve. And it will take a lot of time. It's also important to notice that it isn't just drawing that makes you improve, it's also keeping your mind open to new ideas and trying to learn as you draw. Because if you draw just for the sake of drawing, your technique will get better, but you won't learn anything new, so get to that. So what else is going on there? Somebody said no, that's just clever. I don't remember what you might have been mentioning. That comment was some minutes ago. Somebody said you stopped making people in your school read your stories, but you would post them online in the internet for critics and reviews. I find that that's what worked for me the best. Was posting stuff online that I was able to get actual feedback and find people with common interests, and eventually make a shitload of friends and lots of connections. So hooray for the internet, I guess. Vito, you said her name is E.L. James. She's the author of the 50 Shades series. And yeah, like I said, a lot of people argue that her work is awful, that it deserves no recognition whatsoever, that she should stop. But then again, she's doing something that's good for her, she's happy. Now she's also successful, which is also good. So in general, it's working out for her, and as far as I can see, nobody so far have been hurt because of it, so leave her be. And not only leave her be, but also inspire yourselves by her. Who's gotten like really shunned by everyone everywhere, and she's still going, writing stuff and doing the stuff that she does, that is writing. So you guys go and do the same. Find something you're passionate about and do it. If it's writing, write. If it's drawing, draw. If it's something that hurts somebody else, then don't. Even if you are passionate about it. In general, try to be happy. Fonzer said, "You're so bad at making connections in the business world anyway."